What's up, and welcome back to another kind of funny screencast trailer reaction. Star Wars Celebration is happening right now. They just dropped the Andor teaser trailer. Andor is going to be coming out August 31st, launching 2 episodes to start. It is a 12-episode series, and then they announced there will be a season 2 that is another 12 episodes to get into the beginning of Rogue One. Wow. Of course, I'm Tim Geddes, and I'm joined by the sad boy himself, Barrett Courtney.
I'm ready to learn about some bad boy espionage going on in the Star Wars universe, Tim.
Me too. And so here's the thing, everybody. Of course, this is the kind of funny screencast. We talk about movies, TV, trailers. Soon, very, very soon, Barrett. As of recording this, hours away from now, we're going to be watching Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes 1 and 2. And then tomorrow morning, Sage and Anthony will be joining us to do our thoughts, reviews, recap, all of that of those episodes on Screencast. And we're going to be doing those weekly. Actually, Carboni's not joining us because he's going to be at Celebration. Yeah, so whatever. There's a lot going on. We're trying our best to keep up. This is happening right now. We have very limited time to react to this trailer. So this is going to be a different type of trailer reaction from us, but we're just too excited. So let's just get right into it. Very different.
All right. I like that vibe.
Oh, that's fucking cool. That's kind of reminiscent of the original Rogue One teaser footage.
Ooh. A little updated clone trooper ships.
Yeah.
I love this fucking music. There he is.
Yeah, it's pretty unique.
So proud of
There's our boy.
So fat and satisfied. They're everywhere.
That's a cool city shot right there.
They're watching me now.
Mon Mothma.
Soon enough, these days will end.
Hey!
Oh,
There
yeah.
will be no rules going forward.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool looking.
People
Oh shit!
Said it.
standing
Getting
up.
some Senate scenes. I like that. Oh, we got some clone troopers.
Hey.
That's what a reckoning sounds like.
It's Harry Potter's in.
We rebel. All right. Barrett, what'd you think of that?
Coming off of that was really cool. I really like even just with this shot right here where it's so quiet, the suit's just getting set up, and like how that like brings in like the music and the score into this trailer is really, really striking and really cool. Something that is very imperialistic, but in a very different way from like the typical like imperial score that we get in Star Wars movies. It's almost imperialistic of seeing it from the side of, someone who's fighting against the imperialism in the Star Wars universe, which I find very, very cool. Yeah, a lot of like striking visuals, striking shots in this, very reminiscent of the Rogue One show or the Rogue One movie, and I like that they're kind of bringing that into this show, and that's something that I definitely expected, right? Like it's no secret I'm not the biggest fan of Rogue One, and that's essentially my main gripe is that it being the Halo reach of Star Wars, I didn't feel like we got enough time with those characters to really feel the gravity of their sacrifice at the end of that movie. And honestly, this show is actually like what I've wanted of those characters, of getting to spend more time with them, learn more who they are as characters, get full on arcs that you can't realistically do in like a 2-hour thing, and really build that up. And the fact that we're getting it with this, I'm really excited for, and the kind of tone and stuff that they're going with here, I really enjoy. And just like being able to see all the different locales that we're going to, seems like we're getting more of like Coruscant and like seeing the Senate shot and stuff like that. Like I'm really excited. We've got Harry Potter's aunt over here, which is very interesting. I'm excited to see like what her whole deal is, who she's playing in relation to Cassian and stuff. So, yeah, I surprisingly really dig this trailer.
Yeah, going into it, I think that this is probably the least excited I am for any of the Star Wars properties, live action, at least.
Interesting.
And I am happy to say, looking at this, for it being the least, I'm still pretty excited. I think that it's kind of finding its vibe here. I am a very big Rogue One fan, but I don't think you're wrong at all about anything that you said. I do think that having more time with them to kind of really like give us more than just them telling us like he used to be like this and now he's like this, but I wonder if we're gonna get more Rogue One characters in this, if it's just going to be Diego Luna's character. But I think it's cool to see this time frame. I feel like with the live action stuff, like we've been having a lot of that post Jedi kind of Mando timeline, which in my opinion is where I want to be. Like I want as much of that as possible. So I love that it seems like that is the bulk of the shows and the plan so far. But we're about to get Kenobi, which is a little closer to this timeline. And then we get this. There's the rumored High Republic show, or it's rumored that the Acolyte will be in the High Republic times, if not confirmed. But I think it's kind of cool. I like we did our Bad Batch reviews, and I think something that we always we appreciated was things like what we just saw here, that transition from the clone era to the Empire era. And going into Coruscant and seeing I want to see more Coruscant, right? We haven't gotten Coruscant in live action in the shows yet. And getting the little bit that we did in Rogue One in the flashback scenes just got me excited, because we talk a lot about the prequels and there being so much good in them, and I think the locales are definitely one of the high points of that era. So kind of seeing a fresher, new, modern take on that excites me quite a bit.
Yeah, I would love to see like the true transition of the and again, do we know like how far removed this is from like episode 3, like how far removed this is from like Rogue One in and of itself? Because you said season 2 is gonna assume like lead into Rogue One, and Rogue One is like pretty much a few days before A New Hope. So I wonder like how much of like the actual transition we are going to get with like clone troopers and stuff like that, because if we're so deep into the Empire at this point, like that stuff has already kind of assumedly happened, right? But I'm still interested of like, we're not getting like, I don't know like what this guy's deal is, right? But you assume he's like some like local enforcement for the Empire and stuff, and I'm interested to see of like what it's like to be recruited by the Empire at this point in time, post like clones and stuff like that, where you kind of get hammered in the idea of like these guys aren't like the the expert warriors that like the clones were known to be. These are just kind of like random dudes throughout the galaxy that are being recruited, and I'm interested to see like more of that, because he kind of got it a little bit in like Solo, where Han worked for the Empire and stuff, but like that was so minimal, and I'm really hope like they're really pushing whoever this guy is of like his journey and stuff, and so I'm fascinated to see kind of like that perspective, and yeah, like that shot of the clones has to be either a flashback, or maybe those are some like clones that have somehow survived the transition, because we know that's like something that has happened in other shows. So yeah,
it is interesting, and I'm looking at the press release, and at least in it there's not an official timeline on it, but I do think it's interesting to look at the fact that this is going to be the first live action show that we're getting that seems to be set up a little bit more like the animated series in terms of its structure, getting 12 episode seasons, and like knowing that like that's going to be the end because it leads into Rogue One. That kind of excites me, that we might get a different type of storytelling that might be a little bit less event based and kind of like a slower character piece on them, and kind of character, not just meaning like the characters and people, but the world and like the locations and stuff, to kind of set the stage for other events. Like I think that this could be a cool deep dive into that transition, into answering some of the questions you were just asking about the clone to stormtrooper and all that stuff like that. Yeah, because clearly those are clone transports, right? So it's kind of cool, man.
Yeah, I'm excited, and it's interesting you say this was like one of the projects that you were less excited for, because like the second that they announced this a couple of years ago, I think at this point, I was like completely on board, even with like my kind of with my thoughts on Rogue One, because it is what I've been wanting of like, let's actually like see Cassian with his, you know, espionage stuff, and, you know, how that, you know, transition of doing the hardcore stuff that we see at the beginning of Rogue One, where he like mercilessly like kills a dude who gives him info, right? Like I want to see more of that and him struggle with that even more throughout his time working for the rebellion and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited. You know, we're reacting to this, but also so much other news is coming out at the same time, right? Like Mandalorian season 3 is coming February next year.
Yeah,
they're also
they
dropping
showed some
other
footage.
Oh, they did show some footage.
Yeah, they showed. So we don't get to see it, but I
Right.
was reading through some threads of some of my homies that are over there, and yeah, they showed some footage of Mandalorian season 3. It's coming February. Bo-Katan is going to be back, seemingly a big part of it. There's lines about the Mandalorian with the armorer being like, "I'm sorry, I'm a disgrace. I'm going to go back to Mandalore and deal with that." So they're building up that. So February, I'm excited about that. There was a lot of talk about it kind of ending the year, like Boba Fett did, where it'd be like a December going into the new year release. But I guess February, they're just getting ahead of it. But having Kenobi run from May to June, and then having Andor from August until all the way in, like, I don't know, probably like October or something,
Right,
is going to be, I was telling you, like, we're going to have at least 5-week streak of She-Hulk, Andor, Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, and Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, all every single week. So that's going to be nuts. But beyond that, they were talking about a whole bunch of other things. Oh, and an interesting thing that is not Star Wars, but is tangentially related, is Willow,
right.
which is a Lucasfilm show. That is I need to look more into this. I don't know the facts on this. A sequel to the movie, inspired by the movie, different take. I don't know.
Even when like they did like a featurette like a year or two ago, like with the new cast and stuff, and like the vibe I got from that was they weren't even sure. Like the whole joke when who's the actor from the original Willow? Why am I blanking?
Oh my god.
Why am I blanking on his name? Oh my god. Comments are gonna fucking roast us for this. Isn't it the
Warwick Davis?
Warwick Davis, thank you, Jesus Christ. Like he was talking to the rest of the cast, and they were like, "There is an original." Like that was kind of the whole joke. So we'll see like what that actually ends up being. Other like I love that, you know, the Star Wars Celebration has just turned into like Lucasfilm stuff, because, you know, we also got people got to see a first look at some of the. Or like there was an image of the new Indiana Jones movie coming out next year, which I didn't know was directed by James Mangold, which is like, holy shit, that's cool. But going back to Star Wars, there's Star Wars Skeleton Crew was announced, an original series starring Jude Law from executive producers John Watts, Christopher Ford, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni, which is coming next year.
So check this out. More details on that I'm like extremely excited about. So John Watts, the Spider-Man MCU trilogy director, is going to be leading up this franchise. It is going to be a ragtag group of kids in the Star Wars universe. That will be set during the Mando timeline. So that will be post Jedi as part of all of that, which is really, really exciting me. Skeleton Crew. But the fact that they're saying it's 2023 is extra interesting because, 2022 right now, we got Obi-Wan. We know we got Andor, right? Then Willow's going to end the year. That'll be November on. I know it's not Star Wars, but it's taking that spot.
Slightly related, yeah.
Yeah. But then 2023, just today, what they're talking about, giving a 2023 date, they're talking about Skeleton Crew, they're talking about February for Mandalorian, and they said Ahsoka. They talked about Ahsoka on stage. Filoni came out and said that the reason that Rosario Dawson wasn't at Star Wars Celebrations because she's shooting it right now, and it's going to be 2023.
Because they only recently started production on that, so yeah.
But that's starting to
the heat of it.
That's starting to add up pretty quick. And then you potentially, from what it sounds like, Andor season 2 will also be next year with those final 12 episodes. Because from what I understand, they've been shooting the 24 together. And they've been doing that for a while. So that's interesting, because the big question I have right now is, where the hell is Bad Batch? Like, Bad Batch season 2, I thought was a sure thing for this year.
Did they confirm a season 2? I'm hazy because it feels like a million years since we did reactions to Bad Batch.
I don't think they've ever officially confirmed it, but obviously it ended with such a cliffhanger. And on top of that, with the way animation works, like, you know what? There was all the rumors of Tales of the Jedi, the animated show as well. We're probably going to get an animated panel at Star Wars Celebration.
Right.
they'll
Yeah.
probably talk about that stuff there.
Yeah, you got to imagine that. Like, I was convinced that the Boba Fett show was gonna like cross into some of the stuff that they're setting up in Bad Batch, but none of that really happened. Yeah, I definitely want to see an update on that because all the stuff with Omega and stuff like that. Like, I'm really interested to see like where Filoni wants to go with that, like how he wants to tie that all in. Ahsoka coming next year is very exciting. Just because you gotta imagine my boy Ezra's coming back. You gotta imagine, and Thrawn, which I feel like in the whole Filoni live action era that like him and Favreau are building up to, like Thrawn is like kind of their end game right now, and so I think Mando season 3 and Ahsoka are going to be the ones where we kind of finally see the pieces come together in major ways that have only kind of been sprinkled throughout the last few years. And so, yeah, if they keep delivering, man, like I know it's kind of been a roller coaster of emotions throughout all of these Disney Plus original shows, but I've been eating it up just for the lore stuff, and even bringing it back to Andor. I love everything that they're trying to like tie all into either the movies or in the stories that they're just trying to tell. It's an exciting time to be a Star Wars fan if you
absolutely
really are a mega nerd who loves lore and things connecting to each other in really dumb but cool ways.
Yep. And we're going to keep talking about all of those here on youtube.com/KindaFunny for both the screencast and in review. Maybe we do a Rogue One rewatch leading into this. Maybe not. I don't know. But maybe we did our episode 3 rewatch last week, so you can check that out. But anyways, stay tuned. Interesting. No movie news for Star Wars still.
Good.
So we'll fucking see.
Good.
What's going on with that? What's up with the Taika movie? What's up with Rogue Squadron? How are we not getting updates? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below what you think. But until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.